guys? Welcome back to the channel for another episode of In the Kitchen with Retro. Alright, so today I'm doing a video for a, it's a request video for one of my new subscribers. I recently did a video on the range mate, just talking about it, and I did do a demo on that with cook some chicken in it that turned out very lovely. But yeah, I got a new subscriber, and so one of my new subscribers asked or suggested I should do some more cooking videos using the range mate. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. So I thought about it. It's like, oh, what should I do? What sounds good, right? So yeah, what I'm going to be making here for you today is a barbecue lamb gyro. Alright, so I know some people say it's called Gyro, but I just I call it gyro. That's what it looks like to me, and I'm not the only one. If you all remember that Neutrina Kala from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, she felt the same way. Check it out.
Yeah, I bet they don't have gyro burgers, and they probably never even heard of asteroid pinball.
So yeah, I'm not the only one that calls it gyro. Anyways, that's what we're doing here today. So without further delay, let's head to the kitchen and let's get cooking. So we are in the kitchen. I got all my ingredients out. There's, of course, the range mate, our cooking vessel today. Even got my utensils ready, the meat masher and a spoon. So here's my ingredients. Some feta cheese, some shredded lettuce, of course the lamb, the ground lamb. That's Simple Truth organic. There's the pita. Sorry about the glare with the light. A whole wheat pita. And for the meat, I'm using this adobo seasoning made by Goya. The Goya makes a lot of Mexican type foods. They do a lot of beans and then seasonings, stuff like that. Then my favorite Stubbs barbecue sauce. Now you could just use the adobo by itself and it would be it'd be fine. But I'm a big fan of barbecue. Number one. Number two, I don't like dry food. I just don't. I'm always like, whenever I'm like that with anything, right? With when I order a pizza, I order extra sauce on it, because honestly, a lot of pizza places are kind of skimpy on it. And there's been times where I did order extra sauce, and it's like when I got the pizza home, it's like, oh, it's a good thing I did. I'd hate to see it if I didn't order extra sauce, because it was still like skimpy. It was like, still kind of not really that much. It's like, geez, sometimes it can be frustrating. So yeah, that's why sometimes it pays to just do it yourself, right, or make it at home, and that way you can nobody can do it like you can, right? So nobody's gonna do it like you can, especially the way you like it. But yeah, I'm like that with pizza or burgers. I definitely load my burgers with condiments, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. So yeah, I just don't like dry food. That's just me. So here's my ingredients. Got them all out. So let me get the tripod positioned so I can get started here. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is preheat the range mate. Get it nice and hot. Let's see, 244 usually. That worked pretty good last time. Let's do it again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the microwave is done. I would suggest, now, if you can see that, like, if you grab it here, it's okay, but under the bottom here, it is going to be hot. So if you get one of these range mates, make sure you hold it, you know, by the edge there. That's where it's safe. Alright, so we got the tripod set up. Now we're just going to open this, the ground lamb. I never had lamb for the longest time, up until maybe a year or so ago. Yeah, I guess as I've gotten older, I've become more adventurous, huh? So there's there's some steam, nice steam out of there. I need to sharpen my knives a little bit. So there we go. So I'm gonna mash this up a little bit before I put it in there, before I put it back in the microwave. I just made it bigger, huh? So we need to put that in the microwave. Alright, so into the microwave it goes. And 233. Sounds about right. So as I cooked that chicken the other day, it was like 5 minutes, you know, of cook time. You know, 2.5 minutes, roughly 2.5 minutes on each side. So, and if you count the preheating time, about 3 minutes. So let's just say 8 minutes total between preheating and the cook time itself. But if you're going to tell me 8 minutes of total cook time, getting grilled chicken out of the microwave, and it tastes as good as it did, I'll take that all day, every day. So the microwave just went off. So let's see how it did here. I gotta flip it over. Whoa! Not sure if the camera got that steam there, but it was like, let's get this on camera here so you guys can see it. Yep. So I flipped it. Now I'm gonna mash it again. This works too. The spoon. So that's what it looks like after about 2.5 minutes. So we're going to put this lid back on. Another 233. And here's the thing, you know, depending on what kind of meat you are, let's get... You guys can talk to you here while it's doing that. Depending on what kind of meat you are cooking, right? You may have to adjust the cook time on, you know, because different meats, it depends on how thick it is, you know, how dense it is. If it's, okay, like a burger, let's just talk about a burger for a second. If it is just, you know, like a thin patty, you know, that's going to cook up a lot quicker than, you know, like a thick patty, right? Like, this depends on how, like, if you make your own patties or if you get the pre-made ones. It just depends on how thick they are. So you're going to have to, like, you know, play around a little bit with the cook time, and depending on what kind of meat you're using, and also, you know, the thickness of it. That makes a big difference, you know. So it ain't just you know, one time for everything, or, you know, you're just going out to, like, play around with it and you know, experiment a little bit, you know, go into your laboratory kitchen and do some experimenting. So, and the thing about it is, I go with like the 233, because the thing about it is, you can always add, you know, more time. You can always put it back in for, you know, longer if you need to. But if you do it too long, well, you can't take it away. You can't, you know, the damage is done. So just keep that in mind. You can always keep, you know, putting it back in again and add some more time until you kind of get a feel for it. You know, so it is going to be a little bit of trial and error. So just don't be frustrated if, you know, it don't turn out the same all the time. Just a little bit of culinary advice. Okay. Round 2 completed. I'm going to hold this up close to the microphone. Not much you can see. And here's the thing too. If you keep this lid on, right, it's still cooking like right now as we speak. As I'm talking to you right now, it's still cooking in there. Cause see, that dome lid. I mean, there is a hole there for venting, of course, but that dome lid, it keeps the heat in. So it's like, you know, you can take it out and let it sit there for like 2 minutes and it'd still be like cooking. So just keep that in mind. So like, let's say it's like, let's say if I took this lid off and it was like almost done, but just not quite, you could just, in the future, you know, you could just leave that lid on, let it set for 2 minutes, and it would finish cooking, and then it'd be done. You wouldn't have to put it back in the microwave. So let's see how it looks here. Yeah, that definitely gonna have to drain this. I know that for a fact. Let me get that meat masher. I think it will work better. All right. You know what? Just to be safe, I'm going to set the tripod up on the prep area, because I don't want to drop this. I don't, you know, because I'm having to use some force here to chop that up a little bit. So let's head over to the prep area. Okay. Try to do this left-handed so I'm not blocking your view. So if I look awkward, you know, I'm right-handed, so that's that's why. Yeah. So you definitely want to, since we're doing, you know, the gyros today, I want this chopped up, not like really fine, but not like super chunky either. So just kind of middle of the road there. yeah, I'm going to say that looks done. You know, it could be maybe a little bit more, but I'm really not seeing any pink there. I'll zoom in and see if you guys can see it. Whoop, wrong way. I'm bad about that, zooming the wrong way. But yeah, what do you think? Looks pretty done. I'm just going to drain it, and then I'll add the barbecue sauce. Alright, so I'm going to drain it here. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. Got my cute as a button Betty Crocker strainer. So, the strainer and then a skillet, right? So this is how I'm going to drain the grease. Because you don't want to put grease down your sink. So a lot of people don't know that. They think it's okay. Now sometimes you can get away with it. But especially in the wintertime, I wouldn't suggest it anytime, okay? But in the wintertime, I've experienced this before. One of my family members dumped some grease down the sink, and it was winter, and since it was cold, that grease got formed a solid, because that's what happens. When grease is heated, it's like liquefied, but then when it cools back down, it becomes a solid. So yeah, do yourself a favor, don't put grease down the sink. Just put it in your trash can. So I'm gonna put the meat in there like so. Yeah, now you're probably wondering, like, well, if that grease is hot, won't that melt my plastic bag in the trash can? Very good question. Yes, it would if the grease is like really hot. Like if you drained it and then immediately went and dumped it in the trash can. Kind of like the same. If you guys watched my popcorn video, it was actually my first video. I took a hiatus from YouTube, so it was my first real video back after 4 years. It was 4 years to the day that I uploaded the video since my last one, right? It was 2016 to 2020. But anyways, in that popcorn video, I talked about melting the butter, but letting it cool off. It's the same thing, because with popcorn, if you put really hot butter on the popcorn, the popcorn like shrivels up. You don't want that. And so same thing here with this grease. Yeah, it's hot, when you're cooking something, but let it cool a little bit. Now don't let it cool too long where it's a solid, which you could do that. But you would just have to use a paper towel to wipe out the grease, and so you could do that too. But I usually just let it cool a little bit. It's still liquefied, but it's cool and it's safe to put in there. Now I wouldn't just throw it in a bare, like if you just, let's say your trash can is empty and you have nothing in it, I wouldn't just dump it in there so it's laying on the bottom there. I would probably put some paper, if nothing else, if you don't have nothing in there, I'd put some paper towels down. That way it would soak up the grease. So, anyways, hope that's a good pointer there for you guys. So I'm gonna move the skillet out of the way. All right, so we're putting the lamb back in the range mate here. So now I'm going to add some barbecue. Whoop. Getting ahead of myself. Going to lightly sprinkle it here with some of this adobo. Just a little, not too much. Give it a little stir. I'm looking forward to trying this out. I think it's going to be pretty epic. So sprinkle a little on there, give it a stir, sprinkle a little more. One more stir to get that, get that seasoning all over it. And now the sauce. I'm not going to put a whole lot. Let's stir it up and see how it looks. Because like I said, you can always you can always add more. Same way with the the adding more time on the microwave. Same. It applies to everything when you're cooking. Your ingredients. Like so, this is like your sauce. You can always add a little more if it ain't enough. But if you put too much, I think it would not be a fun time trying to take some of the sauce out. It's possible you could probably get some paper towels and dab it, but who wants to do that, right? So add a little more. That's about out. Probably gonna need to get some more, but this will do it. It looks just enough. If you guys haven't tried Stubbs barbecue sauce, I would highly recommend it. My favorite is the sticky sweet I'm using. Now I could make the gyro right now, but I'm going to put this back in the microwave and heat it up a little bit. All right, so let's do that. And here we go. I didn't put it in. I only put it in for 1 minute and 11 seconds this time, because just had to heat that up a little bit. So I'm left the lid on it. So I'm letting it do its thing. And in the meantime I'm going to heat up my pita bread. This is what it looks like. I had these in the freezer, so I got to put it in the microwave a little bit. I'm going to say 22 seconds should do it. Let's do this in real time. Get my plate here. I like this plate. It's a Great Seal of the state of Ohio. That's where I'm at. That's where I live. In case you guys are wondering, the Buckeye State. I believe I got that plate at Goodwill. Alright, so I got my pita here. Let's check it out. Let's see how it did. Yeah, I think it's alright. It's warm. Ooh, so here we go. The construction process now. I am going to get one other ingredient that I did not have out earlier, and that is I'm going to go 2 more. Yeah, Caesar. Nah. Chipotle ranch. Couple sauces here I'm going to top it off with. Here's some Chipotle ranch. This is Simply Nature. That's from Aldi's. And then I have this Sriracha mayo. So I think top it off with them too. I think I did open that. Yep. Alrighty, so the anticipation is killing me here. I'm like ready to eat this, ready to try it out, taste it out, whatever. Yep. So here we go. Okay, so let's get your scoop of your lamb mixture there. This would probably make 2 or 3 gyros. I'm going to be generous with that No skimping on there. The feta cheese. This is the original full fat. I don't do light. So let's just put it on there. Not only does it like feta, like is it good with this? It just don't just look good. I mean, that looks like almost like a work of art there. So I got the feta cheese here. Put some, top it off with some lettuce. All right, now the dressing here. I got to be careful with this one. It's got a big hole there. You know what? Just to be safe, I'm gonna pour this in my little souffle cup so I don't go overboard. Because not sure how fast that was going to come out. Yeah. And then the final finale here. Got some sriracha mayo. Let's do a little bit there too. There we go. So there it is. That's how it looks. How is that? Is that like Magnifico or what? So here's how you do it. You know, you fold it. Well, that looks like a beast, don't it? So you just fold it like that. Now the moment of truth. Let's taste it out. I'm digging it. Because I've had these before with just the adobo, right? And not the barbecue sauce. The barbecue sauce was like the finishing, it was like, it just elevated it. It was good before, but the barbecue sauce with it, with the adobo, I mean, it's off the charts now. Yeah, it'd be classified as as epic now. So yeah, let's try one more bite. Happy dance. Happy dance time. I'm going to channel my inner David Venable and do because that is worthy of a happy dance. That's his thing. So you put your hands up like this and you just spin around. Happy dads, happy dads. So in the future, since I've made it this way now, I can do this with a confidence. I can point to the stands, crack, boom, because I am knocking out a homie. Knocking it out of the park. That is some good stuff right there. I would highly recommend it. Yeah, I think I've, what do you call that? I've outdid myself, yeah. I'm not one to toot my own horn. I'm actually very humble. But that's some good stuff. I definitely recommend you try it. Well, let's head back to the Sega room to wrap it up. What do you say? So here we are back in the Sega room. Yes, I took my hat and apron off there. Put in a good day's work, I thought. If I say so myself. Anyways, what'd you guys think of that, right? That, it's kind of like, I guess, a 2-in-1 video. You know, cooking that dish, the barbecue lamb gyro, and also, demonstrating another demonstration of the range mate of something, and that's just an example of something you can do with it. I love the range mate. If that one ever, you know, I think it'll last a long time. I've had that one like actually a couple years now. But if it ever like, you know, goes to where it's like it needs replaced, I definitely would seek out another one. I love it. It's great. So yeah, leave me some comments below. What did you think of the video overall between the you know, the ability and the thing you can do with the range mate and your thoughts on the dish itself? Okay, the barbecue lamb gyro with some feta cheese and shredded lettuce, and then some dressing there, a little bit of sriracha mayo, and I believe it was chipotle ranch I put on it. Yeah, it was good stuff. Yeah, the only thing that would be better is, you know, with a tasty beverage of your choice, right? So, anyways, guys, if this is your first time to the channel, you know, tap that subscribe button down there, and then hit the bell next to it so it goes ding ding, and that way, you know, you'll be notified when I upload new videos. And I do a variety of topics on this channel. You know, I don't believe in, you know, being a one-trick pony. To me, if you're a one-trick pony, which means, you know, you just like do one thing. I mean, it's cool. You know, hey, I'm not knocking anybody that does that. If that's you and that's your passion, hey, go for it, right? But personally, for me, I guess I just like to change it up, you know, a little bit of variety, because I feel, you know, life in general, right, just anything, if you just become routine and it's like, well, you know, it's like the same thing over and over, I think it gets stale, you know, I think it gets stale and, kind of like, okay, well, here we go again, you know. So that's why I changed. That's why I do the variety of things I do on this channel, because I'm just putting myself in, you know, like a viewer's shoes, right? It's like watching TV. You probably don't like to watch the same thing. Like you probably like to watch more than just like one show, right? I mean, obviously, because if you just only watched one show, eventually that show runs out or ends. Then what? You know, you're like, oh, then I have nothing. So that's kind of why I do the variety of videos on here. I wanna keep it fresh. You know, it's like maybe I'm keeping you guys on your toes a little bit. It's like, what's he gonna do next? You know. So that's part of it. Don't want you guys to get bored, or myself too. You know. In the past, I think, you know, before I came back to YouTube, I pretty much was more just strictly like movies and games, right? So, so I did expand. You know, I do cooking videos, kitchen gadgets, energy drinks, of course, retro movies and games. I mean, that's a given. Also music. I do need to get on the music more. I do admit that I've kind of slacked on the music because I've mentioned it, but I've really never, you know. That's, yeah. I pretty soon I'm gonna dive into that. It's just with music and movies, you got to be careful. You know, you can't play too much of the music because then you'll get a copyright claim or strike. So you kind of gotta. You can only play a little bit at a time, and yeah, in pieces. Anyways, sorry for the rambling here, but yeah, I do the variety of videos so so you guys don't get bored, and so I don't get bored. I think if you just, you know, it's nice to change things up every now and then, and I would say that's true in life. You know, if you have a routine, if you do that routine long enough, that same routine, right, you are going to get bored. That you're going to be like, yeah, here we go again, another day, and same old stuff. It's like, so to avoid that, it's like, yeah, mix it up, change it up, you know, put a little change, you know, do whatever, change your routine up, you know, and you'll notice, you'll thank me later, you know, it'll do you good. It's good for the good for the mind, good for your mental health, right? So that's just my recommendation. Now it's just advice, right? You can do whatever you want, but that's just my personal take and opinion on it. So, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out a lot. It lets people find me in the YouTube search results easier. So, anyways, until next time, keep it retro. Well, in the future, since I made it this way now,